the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Mr. Gomez?
Yes.
Ms. Farrell?
Yes.
You may both lower your hands. And Ms. Peoples, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. We're here on the state suit affecting the parent-child relationship. Judge, basically all the issues are contested except for current child support and medical support. If I could just go through those numbers and then take testimony on everything else.
You may.
Thank you, Judge. There is one child before the court, Alora, Lopez, Farrell. I'd like to offer as State's Exhibit A, the acknowledgement of paternity for that child, which was attached to the pleading on file.
State's Exhibit A is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Parties agreed that the mother would apply for or maintain government medical. Parties agreed that Mr. Gomez would pay cash medical support of $276 a month beginning April 1st, 2025. Judge, there's one child before the court. Mr. Gomez does have another child in the home with him. So child support is set at 17.5%. Parties agree he would pay $795 a month beginning April 1st, 2025 in current child support. And then, Judge, all other issues are contested if I could take testimony.
You may.
I'll call the mother. Can you state your full name, ma'am?
It's Eva Farrell.
And Ms. Farrell, did you hear the terms of the order as far as current medical support and child support?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand those two terms?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you in agreement with the support amounts and believe they're in the best interest of your child?
Yes, ma'am.
As far as your relationship with Mr. Gomez, has there been family violence in the past 2 years?
Yes, ma'am.
When was the most recent incident of family violence?
About 2 years ago, it was in end of July 2023.
And did Mr. Gomez hit you during that incident?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you hit Mr. Gomez?
Yes, ma'am.
And did either of you call the police on one another?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did either of you have to go to seek medical treatment or anything following that incident?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Since that time, have you seen or had any contact with Mr. Gomez?
No, ma'am. I left about a few days later.
Since that time, has your daughter seen or had any contact with Mr. Gomez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. However, you do not agree with the two of you being appointed as joint managing conservators of your daughter?
If it has to be that way, then it has to be, but I don't, because I've tried to work with him. I've tried to communicate with him and it doesn't work. He doesn't really care about, he cares about my daughter, but he doesn't care about me communicating what's going on with my daughter unless it's like dire. And I don't mind communicating things about my daughter with him, but I don't want to have to go through him with stuff with my daughter, because I've been doing this for a long time by myself at this point.
And as far as the visitation, Mr. Gomez, he currently lives in Denver, Colorado, is that right?
Near Denver, yes, it's Northland.
As far as visits, how often does your daughter get to see him right now?
She's seeing him. I gave him this what we had agreed on, the standard visitation. I gave him the 1 week in a month, but he got 5 days last month. This month he got 4 days. So I'm kind of lenient on it, but I've been kind of lenient on it, but that's what I've been trying to stick with what we agreed on the first mediation, was the 1 week in a month.
So for his visits, you agree, well, can you tell the court what you're asking for his visitation?
Yes. So I think that he should have at least 5 days. I think that my daughter should be able to spend time with him for about less than a week, but enough time for them to have time. So I think 5 days is good.
So you're saying 5 days out of the month?
Out of the month, until she goes to school, and then we can switch to 2 weekends a month.
Okay, so you want him to have 5 consecutive days out of the month?
Yes, that would work for me.
And that's once a month, every month.
Yes, ma'am.
And as far as how your daughter would go to see him, who typically picks her up?
It used to be both of us. I used to work with him. I used to help him with my flights, but now I've made him do the work because it's gotten too much, and I've put in so much, and so I'm at the point where I'm not willing to really do much for him anymore.
Okay. And so you don't agree to him having a standard visitation schedule, which it does make provisions for the fact that he lives in another city, which would give him visits once a month. You don't agree to the standard visitation schedule?
That's 1 weekend, right? 1
Yes.
weekend a month. I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with that. I just think that my daughter misses her dad, and I know that while I have my problems with him, I do care about him having his daughter. I've seen him with his daughter, and I know that he loves his daughter. So I want them to have a good chunk of time. And I think that 5 days is good enough because like I said, when she goes over there and she comes back, it's hard to get her back into the structure and routine that she's in here because she's kind of allowed to do whatever over there. So
Okay.
It's just easier for me to have her come back in 5 days is good enough. She can go do whatever and she can come back and I can get her back into that routine.
Okay. And so you're requesting retroactive child support from the time y'all stopped living together, August 2023 until today. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so since that time period, had Mr. Gomez provided any support for your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that he's given you, is that amount $3,000 total since that time period?
Roughly, when I did my calculations, it was getting to about 3,200. Because I did leave out some of it were for bills. Like I have proof that I was paying a storage that was under mine and his name. I have proof that I was paying for different bills that he gave me money for to support these bills that were mine and his, even when we weren't together. So there's things that I was paying for that he was sending me money for that wasn't about the child, that it was both of ours still, and I was still taking care of it.
Okay, so you're not, the $3,000 that you're giving him credit for does not include additional money for bills that he gave you money for?
Yes, ma'am. It doesn't include the bills, and it doesn't include like gifts, because he would, like I said, last time we had seen each other, it was February. He flew me out, but like he was still sending me money all the way to about June, July, I think, just to give me money. Some of them were like, go do something. Like it was for a reason that he was doing it. And now I look back and it was done for me to accept the money. But yes, he was sending me money, and it was like sometimes it was like, here, go put this, just put this in your pocket kind of thing. Like it's just for
Okay,
you.
so you're asking that the retroactive child support judgment that's taken today be for $12,900?
Yes.
And that Mr. Gomez be ordered to pay that at $115 a month?
Yes. But like we had talked about, I'm okay with agreeing to be in the middle with him because I don't want to also hurt him either financially, because I do know that he just had a baby. But that's where I stand with my money before that agreement of meeting in the middle.
Okay. Do you have any safety concerns with your address being in today's court order?
No, he knows where I live.
I'll pass the witness.
You may call your next witness. But hold on 1 second. Ms. Farrell, you said the last time there was family violence was in July of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
And was there family violence prior to that?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times?
It was so many.
Okay.
There was a lot of times.
And in the previous times, not talking about the July 23rd matter, was there physical violence?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Stemming from my pregnancy.
okay, and were the police ever called?
Yes, ma'am.
And when the police were called, what happened?
So the first time I was sleeping and he
Okay, I just
came in
want
the
to know
room.
if
Yeah,
charges were filed
yes.
against him.
No, actually I was the one that went to jail because I admitted to hitting him
Okay,
first.
okay. And then, did you ever have to seek medical treatment?
No, ma'am, I should have sought medical treatment the second time because I had a concussion, but no, I didn't.
Okay, all right. Ms. Peoples, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Judge. I'll call the father. Mr. Gomez, can you state your full name?
Yeah, my name is Robert Gomez Lopez.
And sir, you are requesting, well, I'll start with family violence. Has there been family violence between you and Ms. Farrell in the past 2 years?
August one, the one in July, the one she said, yeah, we were in trip in California. She has this thing where she said I started it. I normally don't start anything. She has this thing where she likes to like bother you until she pushes your last buttons, and then once you snap and you tell her like, hey, leave me alone, I don't want to deal with this. A lot of people have seen this. Her family knows how she is. Everybody knows how
Okay,
she is.
hold on, Mr. Gomez. The incident you're talking about is from July of 2023, correct?
Yes, in California. So that
Okay.
happened in California on a trip. My dad was
Huh.
my
So,
dad
Mr.
had
Gomez,
taken
in that
us.
incident, did you all hit each other?
Yes, we both physically hit each other. She started the physically hitting because
No,
we
I
were
did
laying
not.
in
I'm
bed.
so sorry.
Right.
We were
And
laying in bed.
neither of you called the police.
No.
And you stated there's another incident in August of 2023?
That was the one. It was I guess it was just the end of July,
Okay.
the beginning of August.
Okay. So the last incident was the July 2023 one.
Yes.
Okay. And you heard Ms. Farrell's testimony of incidents that happened prior to that?
Yes, I actually had to call the police twice on her. Once in Texas and once here in Colorado. We tried to redo it again to live our lives again. Apparently, that didn't work out because of her anger issues, and she has a history of this. Um, so I had called the police. They took her in because she hit me the first time, and then her mom was called. She called her mom. They tried to take my daughter away from me because they tried to make it seem like it was me. The police said no. They ended up taking her because she was the one who she left me marked up, and I didn't even touch her around that time. So the
So were
police took
charges
her.
filed against Ms. Farrell?
It was a case. I dropped them because of my daughter because I didn't want her mom to have a bad record. I didn't have her mom to struggle in the future. So I dropped the first case for her and for my daughter, if I'm being honest. And then the second time, which will happen here in Colorado, it was the same thing. She hit me first. My sibling was there. He saw. She hit me first, and then I told her to get out of my house because it was my apartment. It was under my name. You came to I brought you to my state so we could reconsider life. She didn't want that, and so I had to nothing to do but call the police. She called the police as well. I did as well, and she told the police that she hit me first, and they took her again for domestic violence. And then we were supposed to have court on there last year, January 2024. And I dropped the cases too because we knew we weren't going to be back together anymore. So I didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I dropped the cases the second time because I didn't want it to affect her life or my daughter's life.
Okay.
And all that should be on the record.
So you want to be appointed as joint managing conservators of your daughter?
Yes, I do.
And as far as the visitation schedule, you're wanting to have visits with her for 7 days out of the month, like a full week every month?
Yeah. I would like a full week only because I'm off 2 days out of that week, and I do work 5 days out of that week, but I work overnights. So by the time that my daughter's gonna go to sleep or stuff like that, it's only been 3 hours that I've been gone from the house. So by the time I come back in the morning. She's asleep. She wakes up. I make her breakfast, and I be with her during all day, and until I got to go back to work.
And so you don't agree either to the two of you having a standard visitation schedule. You want a specific.
I just want 7 days a week, something that's better for me and for my daughter, and something we could actually build something in that week. Not 3 days is nothing, or the weekend is nothing. It's something which I enjoy the time with my daughter. There's just nothing that we could build together. There's not really a relationship that we could build.
And then as far as the retroactive child support judgment, you disagree with mom. She states that you only gave $3,000 and you're saying that you provided more than that.
Yes, I provided. I actually didn't add everything. I just the small details. But every time she would ask me for money, like, "Hey, can I borrow this? Hey, can I have this?" Or not really have, because she would always ask me to borrow. I would let her borrow the money. I would never charge her back. I have all those amounts. They added up together eventually, no matter how much these amounts are. I have the graphs. I have the receipts, and I sent them to you guys or to the office, and everything should be there. So the total that I came out was 10,411.
And so, given credit for that amount, you're asking for a retro judgment of $5,489 to be paid back at $78 a month.
Yeah, since October till the time I haven't gave her a cent, and I am willing to pay from October till today's date of what I owe her.
And so the money that you gave her, that total 10,000, you're including money that was not just for your daughter,
It included money that she asked for help for.
that Ms.
She
Farrell
didn't.
asked.
Yes, she didn't tell me what for. She would just tell me, "Can I borrow it?" Sometimes I would tell her I don't have it, I can't, or something. But every time she would ask for it, most of the time I would hand it to her because she needed it. So that was me supporting her on her financials.
Okay. I will pass the witness, Judge.
Okay, I will accept the agreed portions of the order, make the agreed portions the order of the court. I'll make the parties joint managing conservators of the child. I'll order us. Let me ask you too about visitation. Standard visitation is 1 weekend a month. You want 5 days a month. How old is this child?
3.
3. Once the child is of school age, she's not going to be able to do that anymore.
Yeah, and that's understandable. I
So,
understand that.
can the two of you agree on something? Because I am going to order standard visitation, and then you guys can agree on 5 days or 7 days until she's school age.
I just want to do 7 days until she goes to school, because I know when she goes to school, everything changes. I know I will be able to have her on whenever she's time off from school, because she goes to school every
Ms.
week.
Farrell, can you agree to that?
7 days?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Okay, then I'm gonna order a standard visitation schedule, which is 1 weekend a month. You guys are gonna have to figure it out. You want 5 days, you want 7. This is what I'll do, Miss Sweet. Just put 6 days in the order until 6 days a month until she turns until she's of school age.
Okay, and yes, actually, just to let you know, when we had first did the mediation, that's what I had told him. I told him I think that 6 days is good, and we had 6 days. I gave him 10 days for Christmas. And
Okay,
I just
ma'am.
don't agree with half of the things he said right
It's
now.
fine. It's fine. So you guys are going to be joint managing conservators. There's going to be a standard visitation schedule issue with a deviation of 6 days a week, once a month, until the child turns 5, I guess.
Well, she'll be starting school in August of this year.
What kind of school?
It's gonna be pre-K.
Okay, till she turns 5. Cash medical support of $276 per month. Oh, we've already, they've agreed to that.
Yes.
Retroactive child support judgment is going to be $6,450 a month. I mean, $450. How do you want that paid? At $115 a month? Did they agree to that?
How much will I have to pay back, ma'am?
$6,450.
Okay.
Okay.
They did not agree on a payout, Judge.
Okay, we'll pay that out at $75 per month.
Sounds good for me.
Court costs as billed. All start dates will be April 1st, 2025. Is there anything I missed, Ms. Peoples?
I have
No,
a
Judge.
question.
Just to
Sorry.
Hold on one
Okay,
second, Mr. Gomez. Go ahead, Ms. Peoples.
$6,450 for the judgment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Your question, sir.
Who do I make the payments, or will they come out of my check, or how does
They
that
will
work?
come out of your check, but all of that will be in the order that Ms. Peoples will send you once I sign it, okay?
Okay, and that'll be every week, every 2 weeks. I'll probably off
However
my check.
you're paid, that's how it'll come out of your check,
Oh,
okay?
okay. Sounds good.
All right. Are there any other questions?
I do have a visitation to pick up my daughter this Thursday. Can I extend those 6 days? Or starting August, or starting April?
You guys have to do that by agreement,
Okay.
okay? You
Mhm.
guys can do whatever you want to do if the two of you agree.
Okay,
If
okay.
you don't agree, then you have to follow the schedule, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Anything further?
Nope.
All
No,
right.
ma'am.
You don't have any questions either, ma'am?
No questions. I just have a lot of emotion about what he said. It's half of that wasn't true, but I no questions.
Okay. If there are no further questions, then you are both free to go.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.